Hello and welcome to Edukimi's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh, and in this video we shall discuss current affairs and gazette for today, that is 20th of December 2021. Right? So before we begin, I would like to wish good evening to all the people who are watching us online, who are online here. Bhavani, good evening to you. Good evening Ashish. Good evening Netra. Hi. Good evening Pinnacle. Hi. Good evening to you. Good evening Sam. And then we have Amlam. Good evening to you as well, right? And other people who are watching but silent, good evening to you as well. People who are watching offline, a great good evening, good night, good morning, whenever you're watching it, all of you. All right, I'm doing well, and as you can see, I'm not wearing my spectacles. Why? Because I broke it by mistake. Anyhow, that spectacles is more of a spectacle rather than providing actual eyesight, because I hardly have power in my eyes. I do have some power, but little. So, good evening Jyotish, good evening to you. Good evening everybody else. We have Chetanshi. She says, I'm not being rude, sorry, but you mentioned 6 p.m. It's 6:20. Yes, that's true. That is true. Thank you for pointing this out again, Chetanshi. So, I should buy contact lens. All right, we'll see that. There are advantages of these kind of external aid or disadvantages as well. Spectacles have their advantage and disadvantage, and similarly with the contact lens as well. Right. So let's begin this conversation. Thank you everybody for waiting for this pause, and we will begin this right now. Today on Gazette we have quite a few interesting articles. Algo trading, it was in news for quite a few days. All the newspapers covered it. We'd like to understand what is algo trading, what are the issues, concerns SEBI has raised about it. The second one is mental disability in India. Now the court has said that if we are treating mentally disabled people with some kind of differentiation or disempowerment, this is not done. So court has also had a ruling on this. And the third one is statehood for Ladakh. Ladakh has been asking for various kind of benefit for itself after it was converted into union territory. They are looking forward to their being a part of Schedule 6 as well. We will understand that in totality. This day in history has been dedicated to International Human Solidarity Day. Human Solidarity Day declared by United Nations. Featured news for today is on second demographic dividend. Second demographic dividend. We will understand what is the demographic composition of India, what is the ideal way in which the demography of any nation proceeds through time, and we will also understand how this second demographic dividend, whatever it is about, we will discuss how is it going to help India, what are the concerns raised, right? A very interesting article to be covered in the featured news today. Image of the day is on first true millipede, right? So this millipede has got more than 1,000 feet, 1,000 of feet. Terms and concepts for today is India being the country with fourth largest forex reserves. Fourth largest, yes, something to be commended on. But if you look at the country which has got the highest foreign exchange reserves, this is really phenomenal, not even in comparison. We will understand that. The second one is commissionerate system, Polish commissionerate system, and how is it different from the regular system of dual power. The third one is facial recognition technology. We missed this from quite a few days back. We've covered it right now. And the fourth one is Vihangam. We'll understand all these four terms. There are three editorials for today. The first one is on India becoming a technology leader, right? The second one is on Sri Lanka and the case of internationalizing the issue of Park Strait. And the third one is on sex ratio trends in India, which have improved. What is the indication? The case today is on the walking librarian. Very inspiring case of a person who is helping people deliver books, right? So there are a few more important news, but we will cover them one by one. You have to trust us on this. There has been a news that is on the new bill on increasing the age for marriage, 18 to 21 for females, right? So there have been criticism of the bill. There has been appreciation of the bill. We will understand what is the whole issue in the featured news tomorrow, right? So with that, we begin. There's another news I'll share with you. We have Preeti, good evening. Mukesh, good evening to you. Atheli Abhishek Reddy, good evening. Good evening, all of you. Now, one more news that has come in the newspapers is that of desecration of the religious institutions or the signs of religious institutions, their symbols. So that is treated as something called as sacrilege. Have you heard of this term? Sacrilege. Now this is disturbing the religious peace, religious symbols. So something happened in Punjab, and because of this, a person was lynched to death because of this. So issues of tolerance. They've also issues of use of public space for religious work. That is also in news. We are looking forward to a theme in which we can cover this. This is definitely an ethical issue. So we'll cover them one by one, right? So right now, an important snapshot, algo trading. The first one is on algo trading. This is about algorithm trading. If trading is an activity which is done to sell or purchase the stocks, shares in the share market, online share market like National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange. There are other stock exchanges also. So if one wants to trade, they can sell their stocks or purchase them through these exchanges. This is trading. Algorithm trading is an automated trading. It is not done by humans. It is already automated through artificial intelligence, through programming, through algorithm designing. What happens here is, suppose if this is a stock, right? So there are various indicators of any stock. This is an indicator of stock which talks about the volume of buying. This is a higher volume of buying of stock. This is a lower volume. And then suddenly people buy more stocks. This is a higher volume. This is all reflected if we have a broker and if they have got an app with them, right? This is reflected to everybody. This is one. And then we have stock prices which keep on fluctuating, going high. If there is no more purchase, the stock prices will go up. So algorithm has been set up. Various algorithms have been set up through application programming interface, APIs, and the main agenda is that the person should not be seeing the charts or the table or the screen for all 24 hours. If the stock goes up, if the volume goes up, whatever the factors be, some multiplication of the factors, and then the person should be able to buy this particular stock at that particular entity, right? Similarly for selling also, if huge selling is happening or if the price of stock has gone down with a huge margin, it should be sold immediately. This is all automated. Now the issue that SEBI has raised here is that these algorithm trading, many of them are not registered. They are there through the intermediary, they are there through the brokers only, but they are not registered. Can you imagine what is the impact of this? इसका impact है, ये देखिए, I would like to show you, if you have seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street, right? This is a place where people go and trade, right? So all of this can be simulated. All this trading can be simulated if wrong apps are giving, and if wrong data is fed to people. People can be put into their money can be put into jeopardy, right? So all these apps firstly have to be regulated. This is one, right? What usually happens at stock broker places is that though it may seem that market is moving on in a very normal pace, but then it is possible that the market has been manipulated. It could be manipulated through these kind of APIs which are unregistered. It could also be manipulated manually. For example, if suppose this is trader 1, this is trader 2, these are 100 traders sitting here in an office and they are holding the accounts. They are not the people who actually own this money. They are holding the accounts of some rich person, 100 crores each, right? So Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's 100 crore with this person. Then this is Mr. Dhamani, Radhakishan Dhamani's 100 crores. And then we have Jindal's 100 crores. So these are 100 people handling 10,000 crore rupees. One person takes a call and says, बेच दो at 95 rupees of stock. Suppose just 95 पहुंचेगा, बेच देना. So they sell immediately. These people sell, and there will be a trigger given in the app also. If the app has been rightly fed, it will sell the stock. But if it has not been given the right feed, it will not sell. People will lose money. Also, you see how the market gets manipulated. Everybody is selling the stock. Not that there is a drop in the market. Just because they want to fluctuate the market, it gets fluctuated. So there should not. This is against SEBI norms. This is called as what is this called as? This is not a norm. This is called as cartel trading, and this is not acceptable by SEBI. This is a penal offense. Also, these kind of APIs, if they are unregistered, if they have unregistered algo trading happening, this is also something a matter of concern, right? So although this is a matter of concern, this is what we have explained here. The whole thing explains only this, right? So proposal of SEBI is to register each and every of these algo trading in the through the broker. So every trade that will happen through broker is like Sharekhan, it is like Zerodha, it is like many other apps through which the trading is happening. Each of the trading will be given a unique ID, each of the trade, and then it will be scrutinized depending on if it is from these algo trading or not. So there will be exclusive audit of every, random audits will happen, right? So these are the things. But are there concerns for the market? Yes, absolutely. Market is working at free will. They want to earn money through any means, and they will of course have an issue if you are trying to regulate this. So cost of compliance will increase accordingly. Delay of compliance will happen, right? Intellectual property, some people who have developed their algorithm and they don't want the secret to be out in public space, it will have to be out, right? Similarly, it will impact the developing market because people will not put that much money, right? So these are the issues here. This is snapshot 1. All right, let me see if there are some people saying something. आज आपको बहुत खुश हैं, आज मैं बहुत खुश हूँ. Thank you. Snapshot 2 is on mental disability in India. Just a few days back, there was a news that a person has been installed as a judicial officer in Delhi. And that person was going through a mental condition, a bipolar condition. Earlier, this person was rejected by the court itself, that the person is not mentally sound, not in the best capacity to completely discharge their duties as an officer, judicial officer. But after having litigation and further investigation, it was found that a person with this issue, this specific person can discharge their duties. Later, not in this respect, this is just a case. Supreme Court has said that the persons with mental disability, initiation of disciplinary proceedings against those persons is like a facet of indirect discrimination. You are not discriminating on the face, but it is an indirect discrimination against such persons. So if a person was bipolar and without proper investigation, without thorough medical checkup, if we are saying that they don't deserve the seat, then this is like a indirect discrimination. This is only an example. Here the case was little different. It was of a CRPF officer, right? So this is what is in news. Now, mental disability is something that is common. 2% people in our country, they are mentally disabled. But mental disability is not the only thing, right? There are other things. See, if any of us go through an issue, right? Any issue, right? Family stress, work life, or studies not getting through, we need counseling, right? So this can be done by a counselor. If this is not, if this is not sufficient to get help with, then the person might approach a psychiatrist, right? Psychiatrist or psychologist. To begin with, psychologist. And they can also recommend certain medication. They can also call a person to be, they can certify that a person is mentally disabled. And then, so this is not only counseling. Counseling is for everybody. I can counsel you. You can counsel me. But this is about a psychologist. They help in treatment of a person or rehabilitation of person. Next level is that of psychiatry. This is what is called as mental disability. Psychiatry is trying to deal with the people who have got aggravated conditions. And then further comes neurology, right? So medical issues, right, with nerves. This is the whole hierarchy in which it operates, from simple to more complex. So the point being here that disability is not here. Disability is not in counseling and receiving some kind of therapy. Disability might be here, but it is treated as a taboo in our society. 2% people are disabled, but many of us, 50% of the country goes through anxiety issues. 50% of students go through anxiety issues, right? So, see, look at the kind of disability: intellectual disability, neurological disability, physical disability, psychiatric disability. This kind of disability that we are talking of, the Divyangjan that we are talking of, they are in the proportion of 2% in our country. They do deserve better treatment, yes. They deserve treatment for the major diseases that they have, rare diseases? Yes, they do. So government has provided that also. first thing that we need to do is to empower these people by having an enumeration. Let's count how many they are. Who are they? Count them. Let's find who they are. So we have 2% plus population as as having some or the other form of disability. Some of them are mentally ill and somebody of them are mentally retarded. They are different. So people have different disorders, no? Like mental retardation is there, autism is there. People have multiple disabilities also. One example of this is my uncle, friend's father. So he goes through a disorder called as schizophrenia. What happens in this is that the person lives in two different worlds and they keep switching from one world to the other. Now, this person cannot be treated through discrimination, right? Because they are disabled, whatever they write, whatever signs, signatures that they make, this is not treated as something that is under law, that can be accounted for from him. So he has actually done some mistakes and some people duped him of money. So all these do not stand in front of court as accurate details given by that person, right? Similarly, they cannot be treated through discrimination. This is what Supreme Court has pointed out, right? So this is a good case for you. This is a very good case for you. This is an example for you, right? Some time back, just in this video itself, I had asked you a question on the chat, right? Marginalized sections, how to help them. So this is a Supreme Court order suggesting the same. If you talk of marginalized sections, there's another way. You guys started talking about children and vulnerable sections, right? Schemes for providing them food as well, nutrition, many other things, education you said. I would say in this case, start with age. Start with a small child, 0 to 3 years age, right? And then 3 to 6 years age, right? Preschool, Anganwadi centers, vulnerable section. And then 6 plus children in the schools. And then we have adolescent age. Adolescent is like 11 to 19 age, right? And then we have youngsters. There are marginalized sections in youngsters as well. Community, region, right? Religion. Then we have gender specific, right? Then we have region specific, right? Language specific, linguistic specific. And then after youth, we go on to the middle age or elder age. And this is how you can differentiate all these schemes. You will not miss out anything in this case. It will not be random also, right? So survey, investigate these kind of people, create reservation or give them benefits from the government and have some names of schemes. That is all you need, right? So this is what is required. You guys bear with me. Everybody is silent on the group. Everything good? All right. The third snapshot is on statehood for Ladakh. Very interesting. Now Ladakh was a part of Ladakh. See, if you create the map of, here is the map. If this is the map of Jammu and Kashmir earlier, erstwhile before 2019, right? So look at this map. This is Jammu and Kashmir erstwhile before 2019 August, right? This was one whole state, and Ladakh is, please forgive us for this map. This is not the most accurate map. This whole is India, and this region is complete, Ladakh region, this one, right? So the color that you see, this is not recognized as the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir with assembly. This is wrong, right? The whole map, this area, Pakistan occupied Kashmir and Azad Kashmir, this is all a part of India, right? So this map should not be drawn. This is only to depict the boundary. This is a mistake. We will rectify this. Union Territory of Ladakh is on the right side, right? And Jammu and Kashmir is on the left side. This is Jammu and Kashmir, and this is complete Union Territory of Ladakh on the right. Now, earlier they were the same under the same territory, but later they got fragmented and one Union Territory was formed and another Union Territory was formed. Now, before elections in Jammu and Kashmir, they are saying that they want to make it a state back, right? People should be able to vote again in Jammu Kashmir. But what about Ladakh? Why not should people of Ladakh they have the right to vote? Yes, they must have a right to vote in this Union Territory or a state, whatever you created. Puducherry is a Union Territory, yet it has got an assembly. So let us give Ladakh its statehood firstly, and let us also put Ladakh in those lists of Schedule 6, where we are giving them the district autonomous councils, right? See, there is a prime difference between Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. Right? We have discussed this previously, but I would like to point this out again. In Schedule 6, there are 4 northeastern states: Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Tripura. AMTM. These are the 4 states. They have got special rights, and these rights are little more than the rights that are conferred to states in Schedule 5. Schedule 5 again is about tribal development. There are 10 states from India here. These are 4 special states from the northeast in Schedule 6. Both are for tribal development. This Schedule 6 offers people to have a district autonomous council. Note the word, district autonomous council. And Schedule 6 talks of tribal advisory council. See, advisory and autonomous. Can you see that difference? Here, there is more autonomy in these 4 states, and here, their autonomy is less. And why this difference? This difference is in the way India was integrated while, we were integrating India in after 1947. So, some places, there was more tendency for autonomy. There was more tendency for people to gain independence. And there is where government said, fine, to preserve your autonomy, to preserve your language, to preserve all the issues that you might face in your cultural development, we will give you more autonomy here. So that is why more autonomy in these places, and Ladakh is also demanding for the same, right? So this is the update from Ladakh. They have demanded for quite a few things, of course, genuine demands, right? So good to see that you guys are here and following. All right. So this is about Ladakh, right? So what are the demands? The demand: statehood, protection under 6th schedule, filling of the vacancies in the state. Vacancies have not been filled, and allocation of Lok Sabha seats and Rajya Sabha seats, right? So what does this constitutional safeguard do? This constitutional safeguard will ensure that they have a place where they debate issues, where if the formation of the district autonomous council happens, this autonomous council will be able to rule over the regional development of people instead of the central government posted officers getting in and getting posted out. Local people will be able to administer their own places, right? Just like what happens in certain states in northeast, right? Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram. See, and how do you remember Assam, Mizoram, and Meghalaya and these 4 states? I would like to share that part. So suppose this is northeast India, right? So you should be able to draw this map. This is a very important map. These 2 states are Tripura and Mizoram. And this right here is Meghalaya, and this is Assam. Right? This is Assam. This up till here is Assam, and then we have Sikkim here and West Bengal here, and we have Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur. Right? This is how it is. Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, and then we have Tripura. This map is important for you to draw, and these are the 4 states. The lower 2, and then we have Assam and Meghalaya as well. So this is it. Right, so there are concerns of people, local people. The concerns are something like this, that what is happening in around Pangong Lake. Pangong Lake, government has taken in a lot of area, and tourists are coming, and then they are settling for their causes, but local people are not getting those rights. Similarly, government has taken a lot of area for development and progress, solar plants and hybrid energy, whatnot, and the benefits are not being shared equitably with local people. And if there is a district autonomous council, people will also be able to administer, or people will be able to ask what is the kind of product. There will be more project. They'll have more accountability. If the government has taken the area, yet it is not fulfilling its duty, then this is a question. It has happened in many places where government took the area, it claimed the area so that it will develop it, but later they were awarded to private builders. It has happened in India, right? This was about land acquisition around the highways. Right? If you remember, a lot of land was taken from people, and this was agricultural land, right? People were paid their due prices, but it was taken and no development happened. Later, government awarded these places to private builders to build homes, right? To build projects, different projects, right? Not for the immediate infrastructure demand that the government had asked for. And because of this, some people had a lot of profits because this land was given to those private builders at lesser cost. People also started demanding more money, people who are the local owners of this land. So many of the land was returned. Most of it was returned to people at many places. Similar concerns happening in Ladakh also. Okay. strategic concerns. See, this is an area with border, China border, and therefore it's important that people also have some rights for themselves. They can rule over the place, right? For things depending on the development of their own progress or their land, they must have the rights. So that is why government must look at the defense of the place. But what is the reason for creating a union territory? Are we not a democracy? We are, right? Are people in Ladakh not following the democratic norms? You would be happy to know that Ladakh is one of the places from where around, say, every other family, they have one person in the military, in the armed forces, right? So, in this day in history now, this day in history dedicated to, let me quickly look at what people have written here. Sam says, today someone raised this issue in the parliament, Ladakh issue. Yeah, it's been coming up. It's been coming up. And Ashish says, in Noida too, this has happened. Yes, it has happened in India. CAG mentioned in his report. Good that you people are aware of some other happenings as well, which are related, right? Okay, there is something that I want to point out in addition to what I have shared right now. Now, we are talking of statehood and mental disability in India. In mental disability, something happened in Punjab, no? What I is speaking of, that was on desecration of religious symbols, and this resulted in lynching of a person, right? What was the pretext? The pretext was the word is, what is the word? Sacrilege, right? So can we not think that and he was lynched, this person was lynched. Another incident happened within 24 hours. Can we not think of that person as mentally disabled or a person who can go through some norms of CRPC, IPC? They can be jailed for their crime against the religion, but why are we lynching them? This is the question. Is it about tolerance of the society? Is it about how much we can take in before we can get on to inhuman treatment of people? Can we not treat people as probably mentally disabled or somebody who is not in the census? It could be anything, but yes, this is an important point that you should know. You should not be looking at these kind of events from the perspective of what happened, this happened and that happened. You should always link it to the syllabus and direct consequences of it, right? Mental disability, it can be treated as that, right? That's what I wanted to share. Now that article was in news all through and through, right? Similarly, when we speak of one community not being able to worship in the public land, it's been in news, right? Now, let me ask you rationally, is it not that there is another community which is holding Jagrans in the public space? Is it not that the other community, just an example, that the other community is also holding Rath Yatras in public space and also, indulging in political speeches during the process? Yes, it is happening. Then where is the equality? This is a rational question that I'm asking. This is not to hurt anybody else's sentiment. This is just a rational question that a UPSC aspirant should have in their mind. And we should not get into the debates, right? We should only raise an intellectual question to understand ourselves, to understand how is the polity functioning, what are the reforms required, right? So we should always link any contemporary event to our syllabus and extract the example for a better good, right? All right. So you guys are saying, Asim says, Behad bhi sacrilege. Absolutely. All right. See, somebody says, Sam says, lynching increasing day by day. वो सब न्यूज़ पे हमें नहीं ध्यान देना है. हाँ, emotional content है. It's not good. But we will focus on UPSC, right? How we have to look at UPSC, right? This will also enable a neutral platform for us. This will enable our focus on the exam itself, right? Once we get into civil services, then we will see how to handle this. They will also teach civil. That is what Labasna is for. All right. International Human Solidarity Day. This day, see, solidarity again. So please start linking those things to these, right? Those issues that you see every day to solidarity, right? Bhaichara, Behenchara, right? So 2005, the General Assembly of United Nations declared this day, today, as Solidarity Day. See, as the cultures start to mix, this is a concept of sociology. United States had a different culture, Europe had a different culture, India has a different culture. But when globalization started to happen, they all mixed and merged and said, there are some basic principles we can actually adhere to. Human rights, right? Brotherhood, sisterhood, solidarity. So this is one of the common, one of the common things that came out was solidarity, right? So solidarity to be able to deal with the crisis that is common for everybody, right? Also initiated the World Solidarity Fund, right? Right? Spirit of sharing, culture of solidarity, deserve those who benefit, who should benefit, right? Okay. Featured news and interesting news. Second, demographic dividend. We are going to talk about the eco effect. We are also going to talk about various terms related to it. We have already understood what is the total fertility ratio. I also understood the stabilization of population around the world. So I will take the example of India and other countries to make you understand what is the second demographic dividend we are talking of and how are we going to realize it. Quite an interesting concept. All right. Have you heard of this term before? All right. So Ravi says, what the administration should do between religious sentiments and law and order? Nice. Good question, Ravi. Good question, Ravi. I would not like to comment what administration should do right now. It is a matter of debate, right? So let's take a while to think and then share about it, right? Because related to Punjab, I have seen what is the the statement of the ministers there, what is the statement of the public executives, the permanent executives, the civil servants there, and it is not very, very inspiring. So, but these are not the right examples to place, right? So we should not look at those things right now. It's definitely a matter of ethical debate and governance. First true millipede, right? This millipede has been discovered in Australia's mining regions, having more than 1,000 feet. See, if you enlarge the image itself, you will see so many feet it has got, right? And so that is why this millipede is popular, right? These millipedes have existed for a lot of time. See, why they are popular is because they are not the most developed creatures, right? They do not have the backbone, right? So this is why this image is what we have put here, right? Terms and concepts. The first term and concept for today is India's largest foreign exchange reserve. India being the fourth largest country to have foreign exchange reserves. But be not happy, because I will share with you the kind of foreign exchange reserves other countries have. Right? Have a look at this. This is a little old only, right? This is a little old only. India here is at 5th position, but India has now switched to 4th position. We have China above India, if you can see, and then Japan, Switzerland, and then India. Foreign exchange reserves in dollars. China is well past $3,300 billion. $3.3 trillion is their reserve. This is not even our GDP, and they have this much amount of reserve per with themselves. They can shake the whole market through this. And then we have Japan, which is around 2.5 times lesser than China's, around 1,500, right? And then Switzerland, and then is India, around $600 billion. This is not less at all, but yes, far lesser than what the kind of competition that we are getting from China, right? And then we have Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, South Korea, Brazil. This is an older one, but India is right now at the 4th position. All right. So this is in news. $640 billion, 4th largest foreign exchange reserve in the world. What can we do with this? We can purchase, those items which are in need through the dollar that we have. We can ensure that the internal inflation, which is affected due to external contingencies, that does not happen. RBI releases these foreign, currencies at times. They are in foreign currencies, gold reserves, treasury bills, etc. with the Reserve Bank. See how it has increased. $400 to around $550 and $600 billion. Why it has happened? It has happened because of a lot of incoming money, FDIs, FIIs in India, and RBI trying to stabilize inflation in the country. Okay, so the economy has definitely expanded in the last 1.5 years, right? All right. Okay. Commissionerate system. Today, this was in news few days back, and although not the most critical news, but yes, one should know about the commissionerate system. This is police commissionerate system that we are talking of. The traditional system, dual power system, is the one where there is a DM, that is an IS officer, placed at the helm in the district, and there is an SP, superintendent of police. They are attached to this DM. They also head, SP heads the policing functions and DM heads the administrative functions. But DM guides the SP in most of their functions. They are the ones who can issue if SP should go and arrest a person, an arrest warrant, search operations, all these are instructed by the DM. See, so DM actually are placed above in hierarchy as compared to the superintendent of police. This is the traditional system, right? So this is like a dual power system in which the district magistrate gets more power. But if we have commissionerate system, right, this is the one in which instead of SP, instead of a lieutenant colonel or a colonel rank officer, contemporary, the rank of the officer in the Indian Army would be around colonel. Instead of that, an IG level officer is placed, and this person is the commissioner. And this person is a very senior officer in police. They have independent responsibilities. The DM has got independent responsibilities. They can issue lot of police functions. For example, they can have the power to issue the power to arrest somebody, preventive detention, right? Whether to initiate IPC 144 in that particular place or not. All these powers commissionerate will have, right? So police itself will have. There will be greater accountability, direct accountability of the police. So this system has now been placed in Bhopal and Indore, the new system, commissionerate system, more accountable system, more advanced system for policing. Okay. Facial recognition at airport. Yes, it was there in the news a few days back. Now, not a big news, but yes, development has happened here. Now, instead of people trying to show their boarding passes or proving their identities, they will be recognized through their faces. The faces will be captured, and an algorithm will be created so that their database is saved at a place, and whenever they appear in front of a particular database camera, they will be recognized. So is this system good or not? This is a question that should be raised, right, from the governance perspective and from various other perspectives. But yes, India is at trial. India is at a trial position for executing this project at Varanasi, Pune, Kolkata, Vijayawada. Of course, through this system, we do not have to prove our identities directly through devices or papers. So it saves paper, it saves time, it saves finances for everybody. But the ethical channels, look at that. What about data privacy? Traditional ones, no? Privacy of the individual, autonomy of the individual. These are definitely there. But look at a greater concern that I'm going to talk about. The people who have a darker face, the facial recognition would not work properly for them, right? So this is an ethical challenge. But yes, the government is executing this project right now at 4 places: Varanasi, Pune, Kolkata, Vijayawada. Vihangam. Vihangam is the new remotely piloted aircraft system which is going to monitor the coal fields here. The coal fields, right? So if this is going to monitor the coal fields, you can well imagine there will be more efficiency, there will be less corruption, there will be, it will ensure that only those coal fields are mined which are allotted to that particular private organization. There is no, stealing from these coal fields. A lot of things will get automated and simplified. Observation will be done through particular IDs. Not everybody will be able to access this Vihangam ID, right? So a good case of governance of using, an automated system, remotely piloted aircraft system, RPAS. This is a very good case of science and technology aiding the development of mining industry, right? We have similar apps. Right, an app was developed for Coal India also, right? Whole supply chain of coal, whether it has been parked at the industrial base or it is moving through the wagons or it has been delivered for processing, everything would be tracked through coal tracking system also. There was another system which has been placed, right? And in addition, now this system has been placed to monitor the excavation of coal from the mines, from the open pit mines through this aircraft. Okay. All right. Then we have the next one. Can India become a technology leader? All right. Let's look at this one first. Sri Lanka. Internationalizing the fisheries issues with India will have consequences. A very, very important, useful article from ORF, Observer Research Foundation. We have discussed the issue of fisheries before, right? What is the issue with World Trade Organization? Once we also discussed the issue with Sri Lanka, where the Sri Lankan Navy captures or sometimes kills the Indian fishermen. This issue relates to that only. Now, around the area of Park Strait, Park Bay. That area is, the area between India and Sri Lanka. This is the area we are talking of, between Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka. This is the northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka, which face the atrocities, right? So these people majorly are Tamilians. Sri Lanka is largely Buddhist, right? And the minorities exist as Tamilians, Hindu Tamils, Christians, and Muslims. The northern and eastern region, they faced a lot of atrocities because of certain reasons. 2008 and 9, right? There was a crisis. LTT and all, there was a fight for independence. They wanted independent areas for them, and then they were defeated by Sri Lankan army, right? So the people in this area also want to go to high seas and collect the catch, right? And so with Indian Tamilians. Now the Sri Lankan minister, what they have done is, when the Indians are by mistake crossing this international marine boundary line, IMBL, the Sri Lankan Navy, SL Navy, what they do is they capture these people, or sometimes they drown their boat, their trawlers, or they even kill some of the people. Now this has been brought into the light at the diplomatic forum between the two countries. Remember, between the two countries. But now Sri Lankan minister, what they have done is they have brought this at United States for. In a conversation, they brought it ahead of United States of America as well, USA as well. Now, this is what the editorial says. This is a foolish move, right? Firstly, was this approved of by the Prime Minister or Mr. Rajpakshe or the President of Sri Lanka? This is the first question. Because the stand of, the Prime Minister is different. This is a bilateral issue. Second thing to note is that, see, there was an agreement between India and Sri Lanka. This agreement spoke that they will be creating a virtual international marine boundary line, and beyond which India will not go, or beyond which Sri Lanka will also not go for fishing and other things, right? This was a bilateral agreement. They started respecting it. They also said that there are some places where India can venture out and Sri Lanka won't, and similarly there are some places where Sri Lanka should venture out and India won't beyond the IMBL. They agreed to it, right? So if you are internationalizing this issue, United States of America will come here. They will say that this is an international issue, and they will also say that if this is international water, why are you not ensuring that our ship also can pass through a region like this? We will also come and fish here. We will also conduct phone-op exercises, freedom of navigation operation exercises. So when they said, when India and Sri Lanka say that this is our water, we will handle it our way, why are you bringing it in front of USA? Simple foolishness, no? So this is what the ORF criticizes very well. It also talks about an island called as Kachchathivhu Island. Now, according to the agreement between India and Sri Lanka, this island was actually within India's range, India's exclusive economic zone range, and India gave it to Sri Lanka. According to these accords only, India happily gave it to Sri Lanka so that they can, do their fishing. This island belongs to them, and because of that, India also got some other places. So there was a good compromise between both the countries. But now, Tamil politics, both the chief ministers, erstwhile chief ministers, Ms. Jayalalitha and Mr. Karunanidhi, they both of them, and in their personal capacity, said that this particular treaty of giving the island, Tamil island, was not right? And they said that the parliament had not voted for this. So this should be abolished, but both of them died. So the case, it went haywire. So, and then, there are governments who said the Kachchathivhu should be restored back. Then army, somebody or the other, they said that only through war can we restore Kachchathivhu Island. So this is only politics here. The point here is that we cannot get back Kachchathivhu Island. The point is to ensure that this is not international issue. This is a bilateral issue. Let's not internationalize it. This is one. Also, India agrees to Sri Lanka that yes, we will ensure that our fishermen do not come into your areas and do the fishing activities. But India must also ensure that these fishermen should be able to create their alternative livelihood as well, right? So this is the thing, right? Abhinav says Vanakkam. Vanakkam, Abhinav. Vanakkam means hello or salutations in Tamil. 55 fishermen arrested in Sri Lanka. See, Ravi says that. Yes, this was the news lately, right? And then we have, can India become a technology leader? You tell me. Even without looking at an article like this, there are so many perspectives of it that you should be able to tell now. Technology leader, right? Talk about investments. Investment, did we cover this? Investment, कितनी बार बोलूँगा? 0.67. Then 0.67% of the GDP. बोलना है या आप टाइप करोगे? You tell me that. Then the second one is about human capital. Human capital. Capital flight out or flight in, right? Did we cover that segment or not? Yes, we covered it. So what about this is investment in innovation, right? And investment in general. Are we a consumer driven economy or investment driven economy? This is also important, right? So this editorial talks about quality of higher education. This must be improved. Public spending in higher education should be improved, and making the private sector also participate here, right? See, the number of users of internet. This is an important, way through which India can participate in the economy, right? Technology leader. So the acceptance of financial technologies in India is far higher. So through this, one can work out. You can read this editorial by clicking here on the PDF. You will be able to get this, right? Hello, Pooja. Good evening to you. Jyotish, absolutely, research and development. That is the thing. Okay. Then the third one is on reading sex ratio trends in National Family Health Survey 5. This health survey says that the total number of women per 1,000 men has actually gone up. So this is wide in controversies. Is it accurate or not? Let the full opinions come from both the perspectives. What happens is there is an event which is shared, and then there is a counter opinion, and then there is another opinion from third parties. They say no, you are also wrong. So let the whole article get baked. We will share about it. Right now, a quick update is that this was an update from previous times only, that there are more number of females as per National Family Health Survey per 1,000 men, 1,020. But some people, they question the quality of data because something like this happened in the previous survey as well. But the article says that no, this data is also correct somehow or the other. But greater number of females as compared to males does not mean gender equality, gender parity. Yes, absolutely true. This is a great analysis, right? So this is the case. Before we get into the case, I'd like to ask for your blessings and your likes, right? Your likes and your blessings. This is how we are able to serve you better every day. And the point is to ensure that you take away a deck. How many times will I have to tell you this? A deck. Take away the key analysis, only the keywords of the analysis or the keyword itself. Take away example, cases and data points. Every article that you read for UPSC should be used to take away only these things. Rest of the things are only blabber. They should be only blabber for you. You should be able to create yourself the answer. Blabber does not mean waste. Blabber does mean that they make you understand things, but they cannot be put in exam. You have to only refine the content that has to be used in the exam. And through a daily like this, what we do is we only ensure that those articles are put here which are important for UPSC government exam preparations, right? Giving your perspective, a neutral, unbiased, objective perspective, yes, with a touch of empathy. So here is that touch of empathy, the case study for today. Today's case study is on the walking librarian. Now, this gentleman from Kerala, he has ensured that he walks to individuals and gives them book. Despite that many people are not able to come to the library, he says, that's fine, I will reach out to them. So he is the walking librarian we are talking of. And even though it's about the meager salary that he earns through this, he is not disheartened through that. He walks 12 kilometers, walks quite a bit, and he commits himself to altruistic activities. So the quote of the day is, bad libraries build collections, good libraries build services, great libraries build communities. And if I am right, if I am not wrong, I think we are a great library. It's a great community we are building here right now, right? So so this is the completion of this particular conversation. We will quickly meet in the second video that is on the feature news for today. That is second. That is on the. I'm forgetting the heading for feature news for today. What is that? That is on second demographic dividend, right? And let me look at some questions that people have asked. Yes. So Vakram says, Acharya, your honest approach is so humble. Thank you. Right. So we have another question that was asked by somebody here. Asim said, what about USA? So when we are talking about the reserves, the major economies which actually spend are who? Who are the major economies who spend? That is my question. USA is one of the biggest consumers in the world. USA. Most of the consumption is done by USA and then by Europe. And though they have a population of around 400 million, right? 400 million, yet their consumption is far more than India. Their GDP is also quite high. So, point being that these are the economies which are in deficit. These are the ones who spend extra, they print extra, can you imagine this? They print extra, and the Chinese, what is the foreign exchange reserve? How does India get it? How does China get it? How does Japan get it? Because these are the economies which are performing. They are the one who are creating the capital. They are the ones who are creating the goods, the services for countries like USA, countries in Europe. These are the consumption driven economies in deficit, right? 50% of the world trade, right? 50% of the world trade happens with USA and in dollars. More than that, in fact, in dollars. So, all that I am trying to indicate is that these are the economies in deficit. How are they having reserves? Yes. What is happening here? See, you will have a very, very worthy question. That is that, ye to phir print karte jayenge. They will keep on printing notes. Yes. They will keep on printing, and this will actually cause a global disorder in how the balance of money is. That is the reason that institutions have called for SDR. What is SDR? Special drawing rights, right? So these are the reserve currencies which have a balance of all the currencies around the world. Dollars, pound, yuan, yen, right? All there are 5 currencies in that that basket. And if we create a stable international currency also, something that is not only dependent on USA, then is going to be a better regimen. But right now, the industries, they are dependent on USA. Consumption internationally is dependent on USA. So that is the reason that USA is the market leader. See, the 19th century belonged to London. The 20th century belonged to New York. And the 21st century ought to belong to, that's what is said, to China, right? So this is what is about. A good question that you have asked. Really appreciate. There are more aspects to it. I can only explain a smaller dimension, but I'm sure that you have a lot of perspectives to it, right? I will see all you guys in the next video, right? The second demographic dividend, interesting video, right? So thank you, Preeti. Thank you, Babani. Thank you, Amlan. Thank you. Thank you, Netra. Thank you, all of you, right? See you in the other video. Thank you for watching.